but I also now feel that the electric vehicles are bad for the more we're learning,
Hmm.
the exploitation of Africa,
Yeah.
coupled with the what do we do with the batteries? What is it doing to our earth?
Right.
I don't want
Right.
to participate in the demise of this world.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
I wanted to take a detour, a little off ramp to have a conversation because a lot of us aren't flying. We're driving everywhere, which means that our cars must hold up. And also, I'm a big proponent of paying off our cars. So I want to know the best, safest, most affordable cars on the market. So welcome back to the show. Somebody from Consumer Reports. He's a new guy. I appreciate him. Let me welcome Mr. Alex Knizek.
Uh,
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm
Thanks
excited
for
to be here.
coming.
Sure.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, before we get into it, what are you pushing? What are you driving?
Oh, well, I mean, at CR, we buy and test pretty much all of the latest mainstream cars. So I'm driving all sorts of different stuff.
Okay. All right.
Hybrids, electric cars. Yeah. All,
Ah, what a journalist. He's not going to give it. I was testing you and you passed because, you should tell us what you're driving, a normal person. But because you're a journalist, you cannot undermine any of these because you do all of the tests
we treat them
and you
all
don't want to
equal.
put your thumb on the scale. So you want to be fair.
Right.
Okay. So, Consumer Reports, right now, what's the safest, most cost effective, not inexpensive or cheap, the most
Hmm.
cost effective, safe vehicle on the market right now?
I mean, I don't know that there's just one, but I will say there are a couple of vehicles that really land in this sweet spot. I mean, one that really comes to mind is the Toyota RAV4 hybrid. The compact SUV, this two-row, 5-seat SUV is pretty much where the heart of the market is right now. That's where so many people are shopping, and it really fits a lot of people's lifestyle. And then, to your point about cars needing to hold up, Toyota still is one of these brands that just has this reliability down, and they really, I mean, it's essentially the most reliable car that we get in our or see in our testing through our surveys and all this information that we have on all these vehicles. And I say the hybrid because, you can for a pretty small price premium in today's market, get the hybrid and it drives better, it's quieter, and you're going to
Mm-hmm.
get much better fuel economy compared to a gas only vehicle. And, as I'm sure we'll get into EVs and things like that, you're not having to deal with charging or anything like that. This is just a regular hybrid. You put gas in it like any other car and you just drive it and it works and it gets good gas mileage and it's going to be comfortable for most people.
I have a vehicle that I've had for the last 8 years,
Okay.
and I love my vehicle.
Okay.
It's been paid off for the last 5 of the 8 years. So
Hmm.
I'm not trying to, but I was looking at one of
Good.
these electric vehicles
Okay.
recently. I actually put a down payment on two of them, two
Mm.
EVs, and then I made a different decision. Neither were Teslas. Let me just fully disclose. I
Okay.
was looking at the Hummer, but then I was like, do I need to
Oh, wow.
drive that spectacle? Do I
That's a
need to
thing.
drive that spectacle? And then the Rivian, we had Rich
Hmm.
Rebuilds on, and
Yeah.
he said it was the best car. And I was like, so if I ever get a new car, I'm riding this one till the wheels fall off because I have no car payment. So I'm not
Yeah.
trying to buy.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the Rivian, and I'm seeing a lot of them now, and they come
Hmm.
to your house and like fix your car. If you need it fixed, they come to your house. I like that. I like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
But I also now feel that the electric vehicles are bad for the more we're learning,
Hmm.
the exploitation of Africa,
Yeah.
coupled with the what do we do with the batteries? What is it doing to our earth?
Right.
I don't want
Right.
to participate in the demise of this world. So
Yeah. I'm with
I've
you.
also kind of rethought getting
Yeah.
one.
It's a really complex topic, and it's a hard thing to kind of juggle because on one hand you are not burning gas, right? While you're driving this car, you don't have the tailpipe emissions. So there is that benefit. But yeah, we're really in the early stages of electric vehicle technology, compared to where we are with gas and hybrids, where yeah, we don't really know how long these batteries are lasting, or do they have a second life after they're not really useful in an electric vehicle anymore? Can they be repurposed? And what is the market for that, right? Yes, technically they can be. You can take this battery out and you can start powering your home or something else, but is there a market? Of course, somebody has to make money doing that for it to be viable and all of these things, right? And then even beyond all that, um, what is the how can we recycle these batteries, right? That's still being figured out. And of course, is there a market for that? And if there is, that'll drive the innovation to better recycle these batteries. So yeah, there's a lot of open questions. And I think one thing I'm a little, cautiously optimistic about is the changing battery technologies, right? We have a certain technology called NMC. It's these nickel, manganese, cobalt batteries, and that's where a lot of these controversial metals, that's where a lot of it, you mentioned exploiting Africa and these countries where these materials are coming from. Thankfully, there are other chemistries out there, other battery technologies that don't rely at least as heavily on those. In some cases, there are technologies that don't rely on those at all, right? So if we can get to a point someday where we're not relying on those, maybe it becomes more,
Yeah.
environmentally friendly and more, just ethically
Yeah.
friendly, I suppose. So yeah, and we're moving really quickly. So I do think even if you were interested in an electric vehicle, leasing one might be a better option than buying one. All of the kind of ethical and environmental things aside, you just don't necessarily want to be saddled with a technology that becomes outdated in two,
Yeah.
3 years, right? If we're
Yeah.
talking, we want a vehicle that's going to last us a long time and be dependable. Generally, state-of-the-art, brand new technology is not the way to go.
Alex Knizek, Consumer Reports. He is the Associate Director of Auto Test Development, and
Mhm.
and right behind him is the track. So you actually get in the
There it is.
cars and you drive them. You're the test dummy.
Yeah, one of them.
Okay,
I'm the
I
most
love
dummy
it.
of them all, but yes, I do test the
No, no,
cars.
no. You seem very bright. Okay, back to the Toyota RAV4, which I
Yeah.
I know somebody that has one, and they love it. They
Hmm.
love it, and it doesn't break down.
Yep.
They've had it for like 5 years, no problems. To get the oil
Hmm.
changed and maybe some brake pads, and they're
Sure.
moving on. On the adjacency luxury side is the Lexus, same company, same
Yeah,
company.
yeah.
So if you want to have a luxury vehicle, same reliability. Are you finding that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a lot that gets shared between these two companies, right? The Lexus vehicle, sure, it's nicer, it has more leather, it looks a little different and sportier and all these things. But yes, their underlying technologies are very similar. Their manufacturing techniques and kind of methodology of assembling these vehicles and Toyota in particular seems to have this mindset of steady improvement and continuous improvement over time. You rarely do you see them doing the most radical thing, right? But the counter to that and kind of the benefit is, yeah, this steady march of progress on their technology and their reliability and things like that. So, yeah, so we see really good reliability from Toyota, and a similar one is Subaru. Subaru's really
Mm,
come up the ranks in our testing, both in just the performance side of things, but then also reliability. When you go to cr.org and you look at the way we rate these vehicles, the road test, what we do on the track and out on the road, that's one big component of it. But then also it's all the data that we get from our member surveys, and that's how we get the reliability. So we ask people like yourself or um, you know, just real people who are owning these vehicles, what types of problems they've had in the last year, and kind of categorize that into big problems like engine, major bummers, and then less severe problems. And that all comes together to essentially come up with this overall score for the vehicles. So with a brand like Subaru, maybe the reliability is not quite where Toyota is, but it's getting there. It's getting close. But then they score well in all of the other areas too. And a similar option. We talked about the Toyota RAV4 hybrid. Subaru just came out with a Forester hybrid, and the Forester is just this immensely popular vehicle, does super well in our testing, and it's like this whole time we've kind of been asking ourselves, like, where's the hybrid? Where's the hybrid? And now they finally are delivering. So we just got it. We're going to test it really soon and hopefully it holds up.
So whoop-de-doo to my Subaru might be coming back as a commercial, Alex. We'll see. We'll see. Let's go to the phones. 866-801-8255. I have a bunch of questions. I am a car person. I've had about 12 cars in my lifetime. This is the longest period of time I've been without a new car,
Okay.
primarily because I love my car and
And
they
what
don't
is
make
your,
it anymore. None of your business. But it is a car that they don't make anymore. So I'm like, you
yeah,
also
you got to
it's a
hang on to it.
instant classic. So I'm
Yeah, yeah.
like, and I'm not driving like I used to drive to New York every day.
Sure.
I don't have to do that, so I'm not putting the wear and tear. I'm just loving
hmm
not having a car payment too. Let me
hmm
just say that more than anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I understand
let's
that.
go to John in Virginia has a question. Alex Knizek is here from Consumer Reports, Associate Director of Auto Test Development. Hey, John.
Good afternoon, Karen. Thanks for taking my call. I've been waiting this opportunity for a long time. I have a
Okay.
Prius. The first time they built the Prius, I bought that car and I put it almost like 400,000 miles on it. And it's
Whoa.
still running.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you, my dad used to tell me that Toyota, they don't die, you die before they do. So this car, it's still running. Asking you, the gentleman, is I'm trying to get the new one. The prices are too high,
Yeah.
but it makes me a little bit, worry about it. We're talking about close to $40,000, and this car that I had, I paid 26,000.
hmm
So I don't know and I noticed that usually when they build the cars, they build good quality. After people start buying them, they cut the corners and they do something different.
hmm
So I want to ask you that question. And my next question, sir, since you deal with the cars, can you please explain to me why is the American cars compete with Japanese cars with the same price? Normally, this car after 3 years it ain't worth nothing. So could you please those things for me? Thank you so much, and I will listen to your answer on the radio. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hey, thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you. So to answer the first question about getting a new Prius and the price, I will say, I mean, if you look at some of these cars and you kind of, I don't know exactly how old the Prius was. If you mentioned that, I apologize. But if you adjust for inflation, it might not be as big of a change as you think, depending on how old that original Prius is. Um, and I will say, I think with when you're considering a new car, I mean, something lightly used, I mean, if we're talking trying to not have a car payment and something like that, you don't necessarily have to go brand new. But um, and I am one for trying to run your vehicle as long as you can. I mean, I do have personal cars and they're old, not having a car maybe and all that. But there is value in getting a newer vehicle in the sense of you're getting the latest safety technology, right? I know we all think like I want something that looks new and smells new and looks great and all that, but beyond that, not only are there safety systems that are have developed and become, really, really valuable features over time, but even just down to the metal that the car is made out of, the crumple zones, the technology in the material of the car has advanced so much over the years that by getting into something newer, even if it's not brand new, but maybe a 3-year-old Prius, you really can yeah, you're going to be a lot safer buying a new car. So it could be worth that trade-off in terms of price.
I'm a very strong proponent. Most of my last cars, this is the first new car that I bought in a long time, but I was the queen of pre-owned. So
hmm
pre-owned Mercedes, pre-owned
Yeah.
like Lexus,
hmm
because again, to your point, once you drive it off the lot, it already depreciates. It's not an
Right.
asset. So I'm not
Sure.
spending top dollar on a vehicle that won't,
hmm
it's not bringing back. I can't even resell it. Matter of fact, the Mercedes I had, I was able to sell it for more more than what I paid for it because I think I bought a bootleg version of it and I got it really cheap. But that's neither here nor there. It's mind the business. But what do you guys do a breakdown of pre-owned cars in terms of like what's the best, what retains its value?
Yeah, so if you go onto cr.org, you can go to cr.org/used cars and you'll find, yes, we test new cars, but we also look at used cars and we have a ton of data on used cars where when I talked about that membership survey process, we're not just asking people about the car they bought last year and is brand new. We're asking them about, their car might be 10 years old and we're still asking them questions about it, what issues they've had. So, and then we have pricing information and everything too. So you can really go see, okay, here's used cars in my price bracket, which ones are recommended by CR, which ones are not. So yeah, tons of used car information. And it's really becoming more and more important as prices get inflated. And I mean, we'll see with tariffs, just the availability of cars might change, right? And then to the second question that was asked, I think essentially the question was American cars versus Japanese cars. Why are they competing? Especially when you're looking at used models, they don't retain their value compared to some of these Japanese brands. And that's definitely true on average. The trend is there. That is accurate. And I think a lot of it comes down to the reliability. If the reliability of a car, American or otherwise, just it doesn't hold up over time, its worth becomes less compared to a similar, let's say a Toyota that also has 150,000 miles, but you are sure and confident that that thing has another 5, 10 years of life left into it. So its intrinsic value at that point becomes less. So it really, yeah, reliability is so key. And we know from doing a lot of research and user surveys and things like that, just how important reliability is to people. So it's a good thing to keep in mind.
Tariffs,
Yeah.
tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. Alex,
Yeah.
how is that? Are you guys doing any kind of study on the pricing of vehicles now that we have these tariffs? I think they're on hold for a minute, but
Yeah.
it's like double Dutch.
Yeah, it's relentlessly confusing and it's hard to keep up with, which is definitely making it a little challenging for us. I mean, we're less in the business of trying to um, predict what the next move is going to be or all of these things, but where we do get some really boots on the ground experiences, for those who don't know, is we buy all these cars ourselves. So we're a nonprofit organization. We are not taking press cars. Every car that we review, whether it's me or some of my colleagues, we are going to dealerships and we are paying our own money, not my own money, but CR's nonprofit money for these cars, just like you or I would in our own life. So we're seeing firsthand price increases or how they're trying to hide some of the price increases when we get to that point. So we're kind of tracking it that way. So we're able to kind of see what we're paying for vehicles over time. We eventually sell them so we can see kind of what that residual value is when we go sell them about a year later or so. But yeah, for now, it's mostly just trying to, you know, guide people as best as possible because if you're going to end up paying more for a car, to the way you open the segment, you want it to be dependable. You want it to be the best car that is right for you to last a long time. So that's really where our mission is.
I'm in love with Consumer Reports. You guys, it harkens back to real journalism.
Hmm.
Something that we're so everybody's got an opinion, everybody got a page, they're influencers.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys do the thing that we need journalists to do. Just basic reporting. Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Objective and
Alex,
independent.
yes. Alex Knizek is here. We got a bunch of calls. Let's knock them out. I know we have limited time. Woody in North Carolina, and I think I owe you a call, Woody, but I've been busy and that's more gossip. Hello there.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
mother
sent my
trucker.
number in. I
Thank you.
sent my number in, so I'm sure you have it, right?
Yes, I
So
have it. I
call
have it.
me.
I don't have no time to get involved in your personal life just yet. But I'm gonna
I
set
thought you
aside some time to be messy.
I thought
But
you said you was messing,
uh-oh.
but
I
it
think
is.
all right.
can,
Go ahead.
can you
Let's
hear
go.
me?
Yes, sir. Hi.
Did you? Yeah. Okay. I said I thought you were messy like that, but anyway.
Yeah, I am.
But anyway, I have a 2024 Hyundai, and I'm sorry, your guest name escaped me. I'm so
It's
sorry.
Alex.
But
Alex Knizek.
Alex, and hey Alex, and nice
Hey.
to meet you. So I have a 24 Hyundai with 34,000 miles, and the reason for all of that is I bought it last year. I lived an hour away from work. I moved
Hmm.
now closer to work, and I'm trying. When I went to get a Lexus and even a new Hyundai, they said your car is like how much was it? It's 42, like almost $25,000 underwater.
Wow.
in a year.
Wow.
So
What?
what is the research saying on cars? I have a 24 Hyundai Tucson. What is
Hmm.
Consumer Reports finding out about the value of this specific car? Because I'm heartbroken. I'm basically going to have to keep this car until I pay it off, and then it won't be worth anything because by the time I pay it off, it won't even be worth the 26,000 that they say it's worth now.
Yeah, wow. I mean, so you said it has over 200,000 miles on it in a year? Did I hear that correct?
No, I have 34,000 miles.
Oh, 34,000 miles. Okay.
You're $20,000 underwater?
Yeah, something doesn't
This
seem like
seems
it's adding up.
crazy.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I think as we were talking about with the last question or caller there, the more reliable a vehicle is, the more it tends to hold its value. But we generally see pretty positive reliability with Hyundai overall as a brand, and even the Tucson. I mean, it's one of their mainstream models. So, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, of course, the exact situations of your situation with the vehicle, and I would maybe try a different dealership or something like that. I'm surprised they're saying, um, that to you about it being so far underwater, and it's not like you have above average mileage on it or anything like that. So, um,
I wouldn't
yeah,
even sell to a dealer. I would go online because you're going to get better
that's a
price,
great point.
you know.
Yeah, and we actually have a lot of information on our site on kind of the pros and cons and some tips on how to navigate your different options when it comes to selling your car. And yeah, when you go online, yeah, you might have to do a little more work. You're kind of meeting with people on your own, and there's some precautions you have to take there. But generally, you'll see a higher return if you go a route like that. We also see people are really satisfied when they do something like Carvana, where it's
Hmm.
more of a convenience thing. They come pick up your car, take it away, and you kind of just get to wipe your hands and that's it. But yeah, I would encourage you to take a look at our site and just see what your different options are because it seems like something's a little off with that dealer.
Great. Yeah, I agree. What do you, I'll holler. Sharon in Michigan. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Great question. Alex Knizek is here, Associate Director of Auto Test Development for Consumer Reports. Hello.
Hey
Hey.
guys.
Hey.
Great show.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm a Hyundai driver. I'm a senior citizen, and I'm a Hyundai driver, right?
Mhm.
I've been driving it. I've had one each of them for 10 years. Never had a problem with them. The Santa Fe was the first one I bought, 2005. Kept it
Wow.
for 10 years and sold it to my brother because he wanted it.
Mhm.
And then I bought another one because I stayed with that brand. I keep them for at least 10 years. Never had a problem. All you have to do is keep the oil change and transmission fluid, and you have a very good vehicle. So when I go around town, I ask people, what do you think about your Hyundai? All of them say they love it, and they haven't had problems with them.
Mhm.
So I don't know why you didn't mention the Hyundai. Also, the Volvo has been known to be a good vehicle,
Mhm.
you know. So
Mhm.
those are, I don't know why that was not listed. There's an article I read years ago. This Volvo owner got 1,000,000 miles on his car. Did you all read
Mhm.
that?
What?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
know they're
that was
safe. I know they're safe, but they're kind of like
okay.
boring. I feel like Volvo has a PR problem. I feel like they're the safest car that nobody gives a damn about. Alex, listen.
Yeah, they're a little under the radar compared to some
Yeah.
other brands for sure. It
I
doesn't mean they're
guess
bad
so.
cars, but
No. Miss Sharon, thank you for your call. Alex, is Volvo part of your test driving? Do you?
oh, for sure. Yeah, we actually
Cool.
we have two Volvos that we just got into the program right now. But yeah, talking
So
about
why didn't they
Hyundai.
make the cut? What was the thing that allowed them not to make the cut?
Well, I mean, yeah, so in our surveys, we don't see reliability as strong with Volvo as with some other brands. It's not, at the bottom of the list necessarily, but it's more mid-pack. We also just see some issues in the actual testing of Volvos with, they're not always the most comfortable in terms of ride quality.
That's true.
They're really going towards very say the controls and displays inside the car have become a lot less intuitive over time, kind of copying the Tesla approach where you just have one screen inside the car in some cases, and it's just not the most easy to use. But generally, they're pleasant vehicles. I will say on the Hyundai part of the question, they are a little bit more mid-pack in terms of reliability and performance. They're great cars, and I actually think of all the brands, it's remarkable how much progress Hyundai and Kia and by extension Genesis have made in the last, let's say, 10 years. I mean, I remember not too long ago, people wouldn't really consider them or take them all that seriously, but now you look at them and they have striking designs and they're pushing the latest technologies in a way that's intuitive for people. And yeah, they generally hold up pretty well. The reason I didn't mention it right off the top is because we were talking about longevity, potentially buying used, and we see, because of that improvement over time, their newer cars tend to hold up a little bit better than if you go back into their catalog 10 years ago, something like that. So their used car reliability doesn't hold up quite as well as their new cars. So that's why I didn't bring it up, but they are certainly a viable option.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Sharon. Again, let's go to Larry in San Diego. Just purchased an EV. You're on with Alex Knizek. Hello.
How you doing, Alex? How you doing,
Hello.
Karen?
Hey, good.
Hey.
Good. Yeah, I just purchased the EV. I'll tell you a little story. Last year, I purchased a Lexus Hybrid 300, and I just retired from my job. So this year, I bought myself a Cadillac Lyric, and I love the car. Haven't had any issues with anything like that. I just wanted to kind of get a little feedback from you about what are your thoughts on
what is the car that you
Cadillac?
purchased?
It's the Cadillac Lyric.
The Lyric.
Okay. Never heard of that.
Yeah, I mean,
Thoughts and prayers.
that's great.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I'm definitely glad to hear that you haven't had any issues or anything like that, and that you're enjoying the car. Yeah, I mean, what stands out, I mean, GM has done this, what they call this Ultium, and they're going to change the name, but Ultium is their name for their electric vehicle platform and technology that they kind of share amongst a bunch of different vehicles, and the Lyric being one of them. And, generally it's a pretty nice set of technology that they're using. And what I really like about it in particular is the way they have their powertrain set up. You might think that all EVs are the same because they're just electric motors and, more similar than gas cars are from one to another. But they really have it tuned well. It's nice and easy to drive, but it's also powerful. And then they give you good control over the regenerative braking, which kind of lets you almost drive the car with one pedal. So they have all that tuned really, really nicely. And we do range testing on all of our EVs. So we actually go out and do real world in the summer. We're actually starting it up right now if the weather would cooperate. And yeah, we drive at a highway speed, 70 miles per hour, until the vehicle literally can't move anymore. I mean, we drive it all the way to the end. And so far, GM's been in the Lyric, including, has done really well. We got well over 300 miles out of the Lyric, so that was good to see. Yeah.
Nice. At some point, I want to have you back to talk about these Chinese cars.
Yeah.
These Africa has a couple of EVs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're able to buy those here. I want to talk about that. I want to get one of those. Maybe let's figure that out. Yeah. So you have homework, Alex, when you come back. Okay.
You got
nice to meet you,
yeah,
Alex Knizek. Yes, and you can follow him at CR for Consumer Reports Cars. Alex. That's where you can follow him on social media and go to CR. For Consumer Reports or consumerreports.org. All right. It's the Karen Hunter Show. We'll be right back.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend.